Today I'm going to talk about how we take a linoleum block, carve it, and then turn it into a print. This is a one-color print on rice paper. There are two types of linoleum we're going to look at today. The first is mounted. It has been mounted to MDF board, glued, will not come apart. The second is unmounted. It's the exact same material, regardless of the color, but it's not been mounted to the wood. You can see the fibers that when it was melted and poured into, it holds it together. Both of these have their pros and cons. Both of these work well, but have different characteristics to them. In addition to the linoleum, you'll also need gouges. This is the handle, and these are the 5 gouges. The gouges come as a kit. They'll be all you'll need to start the process of relief printing on linoleum. They come as V gouges as well as U gouges. They come in a variety of widths, but should handle a large majority of the cutting that you need to do. Once you have your drawing transferred to the linoleum block, you can begin the cutting process. Here we'll use the unmounted linoleum, and you'll be able to see that I've begun the cutting process here, but you can see that I do have drawing marks here on the linoleum. You can draw straight onto the linoleum and it will not transfer to your image. Once you're ready to start cutting, choose your gouge. I've chosen the V gouge here, and what I'm going to do is make a few marks, cuts into the linoleum so that you can see how this is done. Typically, I like to hold the gouge in my hand. It's made so that it will fit in the palm of your hand, and you can use your forefinger to push or cut. We're not having to cut a large amount of material at a time. Typically, as long as you can see a change in the color of the linoleum, you should be okay. But to begin cutting, we typically find a spot that we want to start, and then we start making cuts. Typically, you want your hand out of the way so that you do not end up cutting yourself. Because what you'll see is that I'm putting pressure, and as soon as that pressure lets go, it can jump. So by having your hand here in the middle, you may accidentally cut yourself. So typically you want your hand behind, and you want to be able to make these cuts. I'm not applying a lot of pressure, but I'm applying enough pressure that you can see that the linoleum is coming away from the top of the matrix, or linoleum. Once I've done that, I can then continue to make these marks, which are white line marks. Everything that I cut away will end up being the color of the paper, or we'll say white. Everything that I leave, surface-wise, will end up being black. I'm just going to make a few more cuts. Now, I've been cutting for a while, so typically my hand ends up in places that it probably shouldn't. But over time I feel comfortable, and I've felt comfortable putting my hand in front of this so that I can have a little bit more control.